Okay, so I wanted to do a quick video on my rack, and right off the bat you can see it's not humongous by any means. And you know what, I agree, nothing looks cooler on stage than a big old half stack, but at the end of the day, if you're the guy that's got to be loading that stuff in and out, or if you're playing in multiple bands or have a hectic practice schedule, it can be quite tiresome loading and unloading all that humongous gear. So, um, but anyway, going through the different components, everything is set into a 6-unit rack case made by Roadrunner. You've probably heard of them. They make guitar cases and a lot of other things. So I've always been pretty happy with their equipment. And it's a 6-rack unit, which is good for me, mainly because anything taller than 6 units won't fit into the trunk of my car. So as far as everything in it, on top, we've got the Furman power conditioner. I'm using the M80X, and it's far from the top of the line, but not the most basic either. So this one has the display in the front, kind of helps you keep an eye on what the power is doing. Also has, I'll get in a little closer here, these are actually lights, so when you pull these out, can be useful for obvious reasons. Also has an outlet on the front, so which is cool if you need to charge up your phone or plug your laptop in or whatever. Moving on, we've got the Decimator Pro Rack G, made by ISP Technologies, and that's just my noise reduction system. So I was using a Decimator pedal prior to this, and not to say that the pedal was bad, but this definitely takes things to a whole new level. And plus, I was trying to keep everything contained in the rack anyway, just for kind of a plug and play type of situation. Just having too much pedals and gizmos to pack up at the end of the night just can be a little trying. So, but yeah, this one's cool because it's 2 channels. So you've got channel 1 that handles all of your front end signal stuff, everything in your regular signal chain. Your feedback and your hisses from your pickups and stuff like that. So handles all the main stuff, and then channel 2 actually goes through the effects loop of your amp and cleans up all the hissing and buzzing from the amp itself. So yeah, so I've been actually very, very happy with that. Moving down is my wireless. Now that's the Line 6 G90 relay, which is their top of the line wireless system. And truth be told, you can get the same functionality for a little bit less money. In fact, their G50 pretty much operates identically to this. The difference is it's kind of designed for a pedal board setup as to where this is rack mountable. So, and again, that's what I was going for, is everything tucked into one place. So as far as the features of that, well, it's digital, which is good, so you're never going to have issues with interference. 12 channels, so let's say your other guitar player or bass player is using the same setup, you guys can differentiate your channels. It's good for 300 feet, so they say. I don't know about that, maybe it is. I know that I can walk, like I'm in the basement right now, I can go all the way up to my 2nd floor bedroom and have it still work fine there. However, going outside, the signal does not pass through the concrete walls of my basement very well. So, but I mean, what do you expect? So, apart from that, it operates at 2.4 gigahertz, which is important because the older wireless systems are now infringing on bandwidth that's been basically sold to like cell phone corporations and things of that nature. So basically, potentially you could run into legal issues if you're, crossing channels with like a police radio or, so whatever. Anyway, the 2.4 is legal anywhere and everywhere in the world at this point, so it's a pretty good system. Yeah, the Line 6 has been actually really good so far. So below that is the power of everything. I know it kind of looks like some weird Mesa power amp, but really what it is the Mini Rectifier. I just have that custom mounted into the rack. If you have questions on how I did that, feel free to ask. but it actually takes up exactly 3 rack spaces the way I've got it set in there. So it's been very handy. It's 25 watts, so it's not some massive powerhouse, but the nice thing is you can turn it up and get the tone that you want without, you know, breaking windows. And as far as power goes, yeah, it's definitely powerful enough for any situation that I've come in, you know, in contact with. So besides that, we run a 212 Mesa cabinet. It's the rectifier cabinet, sonically the same dimensions as the 412, vintage 30 Celestion speakers. Again, it's just half the size and therefore about half the weight of 412. Also fits in my car as opposed to 412 doesn't. So when I do mic things, I'm running an SM57 by Shure. And then the only pedal that I use at this point is I'm using the Tube Screamer 808, which is made by Ibanez. Actually, technically it's made by Maxon, the same as the Maxon OD 808. And then back there is my channel changer. And the pedals, they just kind of sit there idly because I actually don't really use any clean channel for anything. So I don't keep the pedals on the floor. So, but no, that's pretty much the whole setup. Like I said, the biggest thing for me was portability. I wanted this stuff to be easy, kind of plug in and go, and I pretty much have that with this system. So if you do have any questions on it, or on anything, feel free to list them in the comments. Otherwise, you know, keep an eye out. I'll probably, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I'm probably going to do individual videos on the different components, just, you know, a little more in depth if you're interested in those. So, cool. We'll talk to you then.